Beach Diaries. The year was 1967, and we were staying at the Grand Hotel in Warsaw, Poland. Being a curious young girl in a foreign country, I decided to explore the surroundings. As I made my way through the lobby, I saw my father standing outside the entrance door, facing the other side of the street with his back towards me. His left hand was on his hip, and the right hand was arched upward, holding a cigarette. Being daddy's little girl, I saw this as the perfect opportunity to surprise him. I quickly darted out the door and ran straight into his back, wrapping my arms around his waist. I could tell that he was startled, and I heard a very audible gasp. I felt his body tense as he awkwardly spun around and the cigarette fell to the ground. Yes, I got him. I was laughing so hard that it wasn't until I settled down and saw the look on his face that I realized he wasn't my father. It was a total stranger. Little did I know that at that time I had made a memory, and one that would, well, last forever. Every second, we are all making memories, even now. Of course, we don't retain most of them, but for the few that remain with us, they become part of who we are. I understand that not all experiences are warm and cuddly either. We can go through trauma, fear, and some moments that we would rather forget. But for the ones we want to remember, have to remember, must remember, they are the catalysts that fuel my passion and the reason I want to preserve those wonderful memories. The Christmas after I lost my grandmother, my two female cousins and I received a diamond necklace, each containing a stone from our grandmother's engagement ring. At the time, I thought, wow, this is something that I will definitely keep forever. The necklace is long gone, but every time I see her photograph, I remember my grandmother's laugh, her walk, her smile, and I knew that she loved me, and I loved her too. This made me recognize that there is so much more to keeping and honoring the memory of those we love. My father passed away in 1992, and 9 years later, I lost my mother. Although I knew a great deal about both my parents, there were conversations and questions that we never had, and consequently, the opportunity is now gone. I decided to do something so that my children and generations to come would be able to get a glimpse of their heritage. That's when I began to build my very own library of memories. And I do it using three mediums: photographs, stories, and videos. Although each medium is perfectly fine on its own, a photograph, a story, or a video, when you combine them all together, you create something special. Let me show you an example. Here's a picture. Imagine what is happening here. Think about it. When you look at this picture, what do you see? Now, let's add some words to the photograph. Once you read the words, does that give you a clearer insight as to what's actually happening? We've seen a photograph. We've created words to match the photograph, so we have a story. Now, what happens when we put everything together and create a video? For the most part, he was quiet, but if you knew David, he loved family more than anything. And his happy place was always up at his granddad's cottage in Brighton. We would take the kids there every summer, so it just made sense that when it was time that we would bring David home. A few years ago, I decided to create a family memoir for each of my children for Christmas. I thought it would be a beautiful gift so that they could have a piece of their heritage to cherish throughout their lives and always look back on it if, they're curious. When they're young, of course, they probably won't appreciate it that much, but believe me, when they get older, they absolutely will. It'll be priceless. What I did was I got all of the old pictures that I inherited from my mother and from her old photo albums, at least the ones I could salvage. I scanned them, made them into digital copies, and then I created it through a photo book platform on the internet. It was quite easy once I found the right platform to use on the internet. I uploaded the photographs. I wrote some text. I scripted it so that there was a little bit of information about their heritage, who the people were in the pictures, because I'm sure that generations down the line, they're not going to know who their great great grandmother was. And also, I included a few little games. I even created a family tree in one that I made especially for my granddaughter, Saoirse. It was quite fun to do. I'm not going to lie, it was time consuming, especially scanning all the photographs, but I think it was worth it. And now I have these beautiful books that I've shared with my children, and I am now creating them for other people. And I really feel good about it because it's a bit of your history. And everyone has a story to tell, even you. Once I finished the family memoir, the first thing I thought of, what can I do next? And then I got this idea to create a yearbook. And that's what I did. I started collecting photographs, writing a few little stories, journaling, and keeping little stubs or memorabilia from the year. And at the end of the year, I compile it all and make an actual hard copy yearbook. It's an 8 by 8, and it's beautiful because I can go to any year, pull it out, look at the pictures, and, you know, get a little sentimental. Why not? That's what life is all about, right? But what actually got me started on this journey of keeping my family's history alive was in 2019, my son Michael passed away. And he died 9 days before his niece, my granddaughter Saoirse, was born. He was such a great man, a role model, an inspiration to all of us that I wanted her to know her Uncle Mike. And so I started to write, and I wrote a story called Saoirse's Angel. Initially, I wrote the story to introduce Saoirse to her Uncle Mike, to preserve his memory. But what I found is that the whole process of writing, of conjuring up those wonderful memories was very therapeutic for me. And I found that I began to heal somewhat. I will never get over the grief of losing my son. It is with me every single day. But allowing it to be part of my life in a more positive way really makes it an interesting journey and one that I can embrace and I can share with others. If I've learned anything in life, it's that the moments that we share with the people we love, they are the most precious. This next video that I'm going to end with is a celebration of love. It's my 4 children at their weddings, and also my grandson is in there too. Enjoy. Have a great week.